Welcome back to the channel. It's another sap boiling day for us. We're also up here to start splitting some of our wood for next season. We got a lot of splitting to do. We used a lot of wood this year and we need to get a lot of wood for next season so that we can stay ahead and not really fall behind.
We burned 6 cords and then we ran out and we had to get a cord off my dad. So we burned 7 cords and we are at the point of being basically out of wood again. So we're actually taking wood off the porch of the cabin to go home and heat the home.
Yeah, we got a couple more weeks of some weather that's going to drop below 0. We're almost into full swing spring, but not quite yet, but we're getting there.
Speaking of work, we are boiling all day today. I'm going to be going home because the kids have sports and stuff they have to get to, so Jeff is going to be staying here and continuing to boil until tomorrow. Since our last video, we collected just over 130 gallons, so that's what we're boiling today. This morning we went out and checked our buckets again, and we got another 40 gallons. So we have somewhere between 170 and maybe 200 gallons or something like that.
We're having a hard time keeping track because of coming up, and Holly's dad's been dumping buckets, so basically by the end, once we know how much syrup we have, we'll know how much sap we actually boiled because it's a 40-to-1 ratio.
Yeah, roughly 240 last week, and that gave us just under 21 liters. And then hopefully, based on my math right now, we should be leaving with about 14 to 15 liters. Hopefully.
That's a lot of syrup this year. With all that said, we should probably get to work and start splitting some wood.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to try and stand this up. Some of these are really heavy. They're almost too heavy for me to lift up, and I don't want to throw my back out. We're going to stand this up. I'll split these in half, and then a little bit more manageable for Holly. And then Holly will split them from there into quarters or whatever, the eighth. I'm going to start limbing up this fallen pine. That way we can start cutting some stuff for next year for sap as well. So yeah, I'm just going to stand this up. We'll see if it works. If not, then I'm just going to have to put it back down and I guess break my back.
Jeff's still down there splitting wood. I just ran back up to check the sap and the fire. I've added about 15 gallons back into the pans because they had boiled down quite a bit. Added some more wood to the fire. It's super smoky, as you can see, because we burned up all the wood that we split last year. So the dry stuff we burnt the first boil, and now we're on to the stuff that we'd split earlier this year, which is still a little bit wet, which is why it's so smoky. I'm just gonna add this last pot to the pan, put the door back on the fire, and head back out and help Jeff.
Cut and split probably just over a bush cord. I also cut these discs. I think they look kind of cool. We're going to clean them up a little bit. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to use them for. We could use them for centerpiece on our dining room table. Or Holly was thinking she can use them to display her products like chapstick and soap and whatnot.
Yeah, so my stuff is now in 4 stores and it's going in 3 more, I think, in the next 6 weeks. When I bring my product to the stores, I have to display it in some of them, so I have to come up with my own sort of design and display for it. So I thought we could use some of these and cure them and then put top coats on them and then use them to display some of my stuff. Excited about that. And then, as you know, we've mentioned before, we are building a store at our house, so we need more of these. Yeah,
I could cut it in half and then fasten one to the wall and make shelves out of it, and just have like half of it on the wall, and that could be a shelf. So yeah, lots of uses. Kind of a cool idea.
Lots of stuff going on this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And in the meantime, while we're doing all this, our syrup's still boiling, so we're multitasking. And at one point we did get a huge whiff of syrup, and we're not even really near it.
Yeah, we're probably a couple 100 meters away.
Yeah, it smells good though. Lots of stuff done. So we cut, like Jeff said, just over a bush cord, which means we only have about 9 more to go. And we also got started on splitting some wood for syrup next year. But I think the only reason we got started on that is because the pine tree was actually covering the maple tree that we were trying to get at. Instead of wasting time, I just split it as he was cutting it up. So we got a pile for syrup, we got a pile for home, and we need about 9 more piles.
Piles everywhere.
Yes, lots of piles of wood. We're gonna go up and check on the sap and see how it's going, and we're gonna kind of tidy everything up. We're gonna run home. Jeff's gonna come back in his own car, and then you're staying overnight. So he's gonna keep boiling. I'm hoping for 14 to 15 finished liters.
We don't want any of it to go bad, so I just kind of want to boil it and get it all done. And then we can worry about doing another boil maybe early next week.
Yeah, we definitely have 1 more boil to go because the temperature for sap is actually perfect this week and next week, and then after that it's pretty much done. So April 1st weekend, I think that's Easter, we're done at that point.
Yeah, we've already smashed our record from last year, which we had 20 liters I think last year. 18?
No, I think we had 22.
22.
So we're going to smash it with this.
So we're already at 21.
Yeah, and we dumped the buckets this morning and there's already sap in them. So yeah, it is a good year. Yeah, on that note, we got to go check the sap, and we got to still load up that face cord or bush cord or however much wood we're taking off the porch.
Face cord.
Face cord. We still got to load up that face cord of wood off the porch so that we can take it home. So we have heat at home.
All right, let's get her done.
I can't really see. It looks low on this side. We're just discussing how our syrup right now, this second boil that we're doing, is significantly lighter than the first boil that we did. And typically it goes in reverse. So I'm not really sure why this is so light. If any of you know, let us know. Because our first batch, even without adding sap to it continuously in the pan, was so dark it was like motor oil. But it tasted amazing. So we'll see. Usually the lighter syrup tastes a little bit more mild. So we'll see how this turns out.
I just got back to the cabin. I'm up here to finish boiling the sap. Our fire was almost completely out. There was a bunch of coals in there though, thankfully. And once I get the boil back, I'm probably gonna go collect some more sap before it gets dark. We'll see. The buckets are already starting to fill up, as we said earlier. So there's enough for me to collect. We probably have almost another 20 gallons, I would think. When I got back, the pans were still actually really hot. They were still steaming a little bit. And I just started the fire again, probably like 5, almost 10 minutes ago, and the back pan is already boiling, so that's awesome. It's supposed to drop down to I think -3 tonight, but then it'll be in the plus again tomorrow for the next 4 to 5 days, so it's optimum sap weather. We have the minus at night and the plus during the day. That's what gets the sap flowing in the trees. This is the burner that we bought to finish our sap in this year. It has this guard around the bottom of the burner for the wind and also on the sides. The one that we used last year didn't have any of this kind of like extra, I'm gonna call it wind protection. So this one actually works pretty good at keeping the heat focused on the bottom of the pot. You don't want too much wind coming in, blowing your heat out, and then it takes a longer time to get the pot to a boil. It's time to empty the pans. They're pretty low, so they're low enough basically where I should be able to fit the contents of one pan into one pot, hopefully. It's 11:30. It's been a long evening of boiling it down. I think there's probably maybe 8 buckets left, plus what's on the trees. I didn't get to go collect what was on the trees. I decided I'll do that in the morning. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna empty these out, and then I'll have them ready to boil down and finish in the morning, the 2 pots. And as you may already know, I have this cone here with a filter in it. So we filter out the stuff from the pan into the pots, and then we finish it, we boil it down to where it's syrup, and then we will filter it again once it goes into the jars. It might be easy to show you in a blue barrel, but yeah, it's frozen. It's still liquid, it's not completely solid. But yeah, there's a skim of ice. If you didn't notice, we did get some snow overnight. I think it went down to -10 with the wind chill, which means basically everything started to freeze up. Even the lines have some ice in them. It's supposed to warm up later today. I'm not sure what the temperature is going to be, but the sun is trying to come out. And if it does, then these trees will be producing even more sap today. So just yesterday we dumped this, and it's already about a quarter full, you can see. So that was a lot just yesterday, and a lot of these buckets are about a quarter full. So we probably got another 20 to 30 gallons today once I'm done collecting all these. So I just got back from one trip. I got 15 more gallons plus this morning. So far I'm at 20 gallons this morning. And I still have about, I think, 10 to 15 buckets to check. So I might get one more pail, maybe a pail and a half. I'm gonna chop up some more wood so I can get this whole thing full and really raging. Our two finishing pots are boiling, which is great. As this is boiling and that's boiling, I'm gonna work on the frozen taps on these barrels here and see if I can't get the last, I think there's like 5 to 10 gallons in that one barrel. So I just got another 40 gallons this morning. So I went back out. I thought I'd have a bucket and a half, but I actually had 4 more buckets. We've already done 2 boils. We're gonna have to do a 3rd boil, which is great. We expected to be doing a lot better than last year because we increased the amount of buckets we had. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it's been going, and it's been going pretty smoothly, and hopefully it continues to do so. So just a quick little update. So far we have 6 liters of syrup. Still have one more pot that's boiling away. I pulled the fire out of here so that these pans can cool down a little bit. I don't want the sap to burn on the bottom of the pan and like scorch the pan and ruin some of the product. So I'm letting it cool down a little bit. It's ready to come out of there. I'm gonna take it out, I'm gonna put it into a pot, and then I only have 2 pots now to finish, and then that'll be it. And then I can take that stuff home, and then Holly can jar it up and we'll have some finished maple syrup. I'll be finishing up here shortly and then I'm gonna head home. And like I said, I'm gonna bring the syrup home with me, and then Holly's gonna jar it for us. So if you wanna find out how much we actually got, make sure you check on Instagram. We'll make a post about it. There's a link to our Instagram in the description of every video. So if you don't know how to find us, just go to the description in the video and you'll see a link. Just click on that. And then on Instagram, you can follow us day by day and see what we get up to. So I know for sure we got 6 liters finished. I'm still boiling down the last 2 pots. I'm gonna be here for another hour probably before I head out. I'm gonna guess that we got somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 12 liters, probably maybe a little bit more. But as I said, make sure you check on Instagram. You can find out for sure how much we got. And thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.